The Kumbh Mela Festival happens every 3 years on rotation in 4 cities. You're looking at about 120 million pilgrims making the journey this year. It's a Hindu pilgrimage of faith. So the Hindus gather and they bathe in the waters to wash themselves, and the festival lasts for about 6 weeks.
What's so really different about Kumbh Mela is its apocalyptic proportions. That's the first thing. Yes? The biggest gathering of mankind in the history of mankind. Isn't it enough to begin with? What makes it special is the fact that there is no territorialism there, you see. You are in the place where nobody really is a host. It belongs to Mother Nature, and it will belong forever, and it's been like this, I guess, since the beginning of the civilization. And they've been here longer than our civilization, longer than our religion, longer than our nations. This is a festival that takes place every 12 years, at least for last 2,500 years. That's what first, there was a Chinese traveler who wrote it down and recorded it formally, so we have some historical point of reference. What made it even more special, actually, is the fact that the festival takes place every 12 years, right? But every 12 cycles of the 12 years, there is, namely every 144 years, Maha Kumbh Mela happens, which is even bigger edition of Kumbh Mela. And this was the Maha Kumbh Mela. So for next one you have to wait 144 years, guys. I consider myself double as lucky. Also, I am not able to express in words how it is to sit next to Nagasadhu for a long time and smoke cannabis with him for 3, 4, 5 days in a row, taking photographs at the same time. Some of them are good because of that, actually. I wouldn't do it normally, you see. So in fact, you know, I made an effort to see more than just a typical media person would do, as they did actually. The fact that there is an extreme spirituality present at this place means that I got polarized somehow. And materialistic life that we have here in London somehow makes more, I don't know, challenges my ego, challenges my morality, and so based on this sort of dissonance in me, I decided to make a short feature film, because it will be first film really. So I bought a bowler hat, I bought a suit, tie, suitcase, an umbrella, and I went like proper banker into the crowd of 14 million people, of pilgrims, which most of them will never make enough money to buy a hat at Bates for 250 quid, you know. And I walked there with a Steadicam guy behind me, and I really risked my life, because I'm surrounded by a religious crowd. You know, religious people have extreme reactions sometimes, and I could never ever predict if somebody will throw a stone at me because they will just think I'm making, you know, I'm fooling around. I guess it's good to challenge yourself from time to time. You enrich yourself and come back to reality where you've come from, and suddenly everything is different. A word of credit goes to Mr. Leandro Rodriguez here. Come here, Leandro. Right. This is the guy who organized everything apart from photographs. So his beautiful waitresses and the canapes that's gone already. Where are they? I didn't need anything. All of it is his contribution to it. So if any of you would like to go to Kumbh Mela and again have an exhibition or anything else, this is the guy to talk to here, okay?
Please enjoy all the photographs, have some wine, listen to the amazing music. There are also other exhibitions from Boguslaw downstairs as well that you can all take a look at, so have a great evening.
They're interesting, but they've only given a brief insight, so I feel there should have been more. having seen the video, obviously he's a performance artist as well, and that's quite exciting. It was like watching John Cleese walking along the beach of the Ganges, you know. Very entertaining. I'd like to see a big exhibition of his photos, because these kind of festivals, they bring up some really interesting characters, and there was all kinds of elements that could have been focused on, but I suppose he would have had to have researched that beforehand and coordinated with persons there who knew how these elements come together at these festivals. But, you know, to see so many people in one place and everyone very happy, you know, that is really amazing, you know, because in India the culture is so old that these people, they just flow like the river. So they are Ganges too.
Well, all of the photos capture the spirit of it. Just like, even like with the different gradations of the colours, they've captured the spirit of not just the festival that was attended, but just kind of the whole kind of life and kind of energy of India itself.
And which is your favourite?
This is my favourite image from the exhibition. Because this is actually, like, it's a really, really common thing to be seen. You have homeless people living under these really kind of big structures, which will be, but currently aren't, for motorways and for, you know, the transit infrastructure. And most people ignore them, and they just drive straight through or straight past. But it's really lovely to see that someone can capture the colours and the vibrancy of the life that lives beneath, kind of. It's like living beneath the city, really, and like the industry, and I think that's a really lovely thing that's been captured by this artist.
It's interesting to me because I know that culture inside out. I've lived in India.
You think he captured it well?
Yeah, but I mean, he's obviously adding something different to it. He's trying to juxtapose a iconic European type banker and trying to graft that onto something which is an ancient tradition, and to see what kind of friction or empathies that throws up.
It's very personal, and the way that, you know, some of the pictures capture that glimpse or that, you know, look, I think that makes you feel like you're actually not here but you're somewhere else.
Do you have a particular favourite that you've seen?
I've got a couple. I think that I cannot pick one, actually. I think that I've got a couple. There are the ones with the scarves and the women. I think that those, you know, the colors and the position of the women, that's one of my favorites.
I've never ever heard of the Kumbh Mela ceremony, so for me it was quite an eye-opener, and I'm Hindu, so not knowing about it was actually, like, you know, at least Bobby educated me.
All of them are quite nice, and we were just discovering and commenting how we think about them. I think all of them. I like this picture that's behind you. It's a good one. That's the face of the man. I think before the whole ritual of purity, whatever they call it. Yeah, so in general, it's a very positive expression I feel about these things.